Hi everybody, thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about Let's Make Soup Part 2. And those of you that are following me know that you've already seen Part 1, and we talked about the soup. And the soup is our lives and our lifestyles. So we're going to be doing another area of the soup. You know soup is good for comfort, it's good for healing, and it's just good nutrition. Many times we find ourselves in situations where things are not good for us. Not at all. We make decisions that are not good. We go to places and see people that may not be too good for us. And so we find ourselves sort of in a disarray or confusion when it's all over. The main reason for making soup, as I said before, is for the comfort. So let's deal with that. Now, to be comforted, you need something very essential in your life, and that is stability. With soup, there are some real good areas that we can do in our lives to make this happen. First, we need to have a very good spiritual point of focus, and that to me is God our Father. We should have this because that's the only way that the soup is going to get started on a good foundation. You know, to make soup, you need a good stock, you need a good broth to get started. After that, we have to realize what not to put in our soup. We talked before about the things that we want in our soup to make it healthy and comforting, and even to help others. In other words, to share our soup. Today, we're going to be talking about what makes the soup not so good. Now, if you're going to put sausage in your soup, you want to prepare, you want to cut it up, but you're not going to put the package from the sausage in the soup. If you want some tomatoes, you get a can of tomatoes and chop them up real fine. Take your onion and peel it and do that too, chop it up, your garlic. But you're not going to put the covering of the onion, the peels from the onion or the garlic in your soup. That would be what? More like trash. See, many times we find ourselves making soup or leading our lives. Soup is our life or our lifestyle. And we find ourselves putting junk in our soup. The things that we don't need, the people that we don't need to be around, the decisions that we make without consulting God or consulting others that would make sense for us. We put trash in our soup, the things that cause us to be anxious, contentious, dissensions, all around us. You see, there's distractions everywhere we go. In the grocery store, on our jobs, even in our churches. These distractions should not cause us or cause our soup to be bitter or to be nasty. Sometimes we don't put the right things in our soup, or we try to add things that just don't fit. When you open the can of tomatoes, you're not going to throw the can in there. That would be trash. Too much fat or animal fat in our physical bodies causes a clog of arteries. The same thing with our soup. We put too much fat and too much things that we think are good. They may taste great, but they're not good for us. So they would clog our spiritual arteries. They would clog our emotions and clog our mental ability to do the things that we need to do. This soup we want to comfort us and then to give back to others. But we can't do that if we have ugly feelings toward one another, if we have unforgiveness, and most of all, jealousies and incontentment about others. I know some of you may not know the Bible or you may not follow it, but God gave us 10 commandments. And one of those commandments is not to covet, not to be jealous of one another. Jealousy is an evil, evil, evil weed. And it could weed out everything in our lives. So we don't want to put that in our soup. Some of the things that I do when I make soup is that I take out all the unwanted skin and the bones of the meat, the chicken, turkey, whatever I'm doing. And that makes more of a clear broth. And the flavor from that is fine. But I don't want to eat those bones. I don't want to chew up that fat because it's not good for me. Many times when we go places, and those places may be a lot of fun, And it may be, somewhat comforting, but it may not be good for us. When we get into our 50s, our 60s, and our 70s, and our 80s, we've experienced a lot of things. So the things that we do now, the soup that we make now for our lives, even if we made it a week ago or a month ago, sometimes we can freeze that soup and then heat it back up. Whenever I make soup, my children, one of them know about it. And they beg me, please make enough for me. That means that when we're making soup for our lives, when we're doing things that are nutritious and comforting for our lives, it's not just for us. As I've always said, it's for us to give back. So remember, don't put trash in your soup. Don't put stuff in your soup that's not good. Don't put jealousy and unforgiveness in your soup. Don't put those things, those selfishness in your soup, because it's going to come out bitter and nasty. You want to have a productive life. And with our lifestyles, the golden years that we have, we want to be productive. And we want to know that no matter what, we have the comfort and the healing that we need. No matter if we have things going on in our bodies, like I do, physical things that we have to deal with medications, or just discomforts from day to day. Some of you may be in wheelchairs. Some of you may be bedridden. Doesn't matter. You're still here. You're still here. That means you can make soup and you can share with others. Well, that's all I have today. I hope you've enjoyed it. And don't forget, let's make soup. Let's make good soup, because it's a wonderful, wonderful life. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.